Hey guys, this is my 2024 Raptor deck profile for Duel Links. So starting off, we have the one copy of Raptor Mimicry Lanius. Mimicry Lanius is a great card in just the fact where if it's normal or special summoned, you can increase the level of all Raptor monsters by 1. You typically don't use that effect almost ever, only on the rare occasion where you have literally nothing else in your hand. Then if we run the one trap, which is Raid Raptor Phantom Knight's Claw. I always tend to search that off of the Mimicry Lanius, or search the spell Raid Raptor's Nest. So you have multiple ways of getting all your Raid Raptor cards. Next up, of course, is the one copy of Raid Raptor Tribulanius. Tribulanius, you basically just send any Raid Raptor monster from your deck to your graveyard, and you typically use it to send a Mimicry, or you can send a Fuzzy Lanius to add another Fuzzy Lanius to your hand. And then if you have Fuzzy Lanius and a single Lanius, you can basically end on a decent board. Next up, I have the one copy of Raid Raptor Strangle Lanius. Strangle Lanius is a very good card in the sense you just need a Dark Monster to special summon itself, and people run it at 2 and 3, and I would love to run it at 2 or 3, but I simply only have the one copy. And yeah, it locks you to Dark Monsters, but you don't have a problem with that. That's all you run in this deck, which is why it's a great extender. Simply, if you have a Xyz monster with the Dark Xyz material, you can target one level 4 or lower Raid Raptor monster in your graveyard and then special summon it. It's great, and it can help with setting up more boards, something like Raider's Knight or the 4 strikes, to add another copy of whatever Raid Raptor monster you want. As for one of the 3 of them, they'll run 3 copies of Raid Raptor Vanishing Lanius. I've seen people run Vanishing Lanius at 2 or 1 or none at all, and it makes no sense to me. Like, you have to run this card. It's a mandatory card to run. It's a great effect where if you normal or special summon it, you can special summon 1 level 4 level Raid Raptor monster from your hand. Then I run the one copy of Raid Raptor Pain Lanius. Pain Lanius is honestly just a really good card. I feel like every Raid Raptor plays it. Every Raid Raptor player plays it. You open Pain Lanius with any Raid Raptor monster, and you're just ending on a board with either Stranger Falcon and Satellite Cannon Falcon, or Satellite Cannon Falcon and then the red one. I forgot what it was called. Raid Raptor Blaze Falcon. Yeah, very good card, and I feel like every single deck list I've seen runs it. Then I run the 3 copies of Raid Raptor Fuzzy Lanius. I've run Fuzzy Lanius at 2, and honestly, during the World Championship qualifiers, I ran it at 2, and it just didn't work for me. Like, this card is a mandatory 3. If you're gonna run Fuzzy Lanius, it's a mandatory 3 of. Simply, if you control another Raid Raptor monster except itself, you can special summon it. Then this card was sent to the graveyard. You can add a Fuzzy Lanius from your deck to your hand. But yeah, very good card. Definitely 3 off if you're gonna play this build, or you're just gonna play Fuzzy Lanius in your deck in general. Next, I'm running the 2 copies of Raid Raptor Singing Lanius. I run the 2 copies of. Typically, I always try and run 2 copies of every single Raid Raptor monster, because I do run Raid Raptor Call in this deck. So I always just have to have a second copy of every single Raid Raptor monster that I can. But yeah, Fuzzy Lanius is simple fact. You basically just control a face-up Xyz monster, and you can special summon this card from your hand. You can pair this up with Fuzzy Lanius. As for the hand traps, you're running pretty simple stuff. Just the one effect ability to stop your opponent's plays with their monsters, as well as the one Duel Lockbird to lock your opponent out of taking the cards from the deck. Performance damage juggler, very good card, very underrated, especially for stuff like Magic Cylinder to protect you from its card effect to deal you damage. Very good card. It can just reduce all either battle damage to 0 or all card effect damage to 0. Next, I run the 2 copies of Cairo just to stop my opponent's direct attacks from dealing me any damage at all. As for the spells that you're running in the deck, you're running the 1 copy of Rank of Magic Soul Shift Force. Soul Shift Force is a great card. You simply just pay half your life points to get 1 Raid Raptor Xyz monster in your graveyard, and especially summon it from your extra deck, 1 Xyz monster that is 2 ranks higher. So a very good card, especially like if you have nothing less to lose and then you're just pushing for game. A great card to be able to special summon like something like Raid Raptor Revolution Falcon. So yeah, a great card. Then another one I run is the Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic Force. Rank Up Magic Force is one of my favorite rank up magics. behind Skip Force, you just simply banish dark monsters from your graveyard, and then however many dark monsters you banish, you target one dark Xyz monster you control, and then you Xyz summon one rank higher equal to the number of dark monsters that you banished. So it's a great quick base spell. This card is very good in Phantom Knights in the actual TCG. In the actual card game. A very good card with the Phantom Knights and the Raid Raptors deck as well. Then I run the 1 rank up Magic Skip Force. Skip Force is my favorite card in this deck. Like, honestly, just my favorite rank up Magic because you just XC summon. You target 1 Raid Raptor monster you control and then XC summon from your extra deck a Raid Raptor that is 2 ranks higher. So due to my skill that I run, I have to run this card or else I can't make, what's his name? I can't make Satellite Cannon Falcon on the first turn. I mean, I could, but it's much better with Skip Force because it's basically a reborn for a Raid Raptor Xyz monster, which is in the graveyard. The final rank up I play is the rank up Magic Revolutionist Force. I like this card, but I don't like it as much because it is a quick play spell. You can't activate it during your battle phase. But if I were to take this card out, I would probably take it out for the rank up Magic Raptors Force. It's okay. I like it, but it's not the best. It's not the best one. As for the staple spells that I run in the deck, I run the 1 Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is just a great staple card, just to be able to grab a monster from either your opponent's graveyard or your graveyard to be able to sell more of your Xyz plays and combo off from there. Next, I run the 1 Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is basically the Dark Ruler No More that isn't Dark Ruler No More. So it just switches all your opponent's face-up monsters that they control on their field to face down. Then on end phase, however many face-down monsters they have, you flip them face-up, and then they draw cards equal to how many face-up monsters they have. You typically don't have to worry about, their face. You don't have to worry about them drawing cards because you typically will hit them with the board wipe after you hit them with the Book of Eclipse. So the best they'll draw is maybe 1 card. Maybe 1. Yeah, great card. Book of Eclipse. Amazing. Next one, the 1 Raid Raptor spell that I didn't cover was the 1 Raid Raptor's Nest. Raid Raptor's Nest is good just to grab any Raid Raptor card or any Raid Raptor monster from your deck to your hand. Then Forbidden Chalice, it's simply like an effect veiler, but you can just set it down in the field. It's a quick base spell. Basically, you just target one face-up monster in the field, and until the end of the turn, it gains 400, and its effects are negated. Finally, the 1 trap that we run in the deck, Raid Raptor Phantom Knights Call. Raid Raptor Phantom Knights Call, amazing card. Honestly, one of the best support cards that's come out for the Raid Raptor archetype. You simply just attach 1 material from your Dark Xyz monster to negate an opponent's card effect. Then, if the attached material was a Raid Raptor, Phantom Knights, or Xyz Dragon Xyz monster, 1 Raid Raptor Xyz monster gains the attack of that said destroyed monster. So yeah, great card. You can get your Raid Raptor monsters to really high numbers. Like the most I've ever had it was like 8,000 because of Raid Raptor Phantom Knights Call. So yeah, really good negate card. Moving on to the extra deck. So in the extra deck, we have the 1 copy of Raid Raptor Revolution Falcon. Revolution Falcon is a good card, and just its effect alone, you can just attach 1 material, and it can attack all special summon monsters your opponent controls, as well as at the start of the damage step, if it battles an opponent's special summoned monster, it reduces its attack and defense to 0. Then if it has an Xyz monster, a Raid Raptor Xyz monster's material, you can detach 1 material, and then it can destroy 1 card in your opponent's field, and then it'll deal a quarter of its attack points to your opponent. We also run Revolution Falcon for the target of Revolution Air Raid, or Revolution Falcon Air Raid. Next up, I run the 1 copy of Raider's Knight. Raider's Knight is a great card, and just you basically a rank up magic in itself. You just attach 1 material from it, and then Xyz summon a Raid Raptor Xyz monster, Phantom Knights monster, or Xyz Dragon Xyz monster that is 1 rank higher or lower than this card. Typically, this card is used for plays like with Arc Rebellion, but I use it for either Revolution Falcon or the other rank 5 monster, Raid Raptor Blaze Falcon. Next up is the 1 copy of Raid Raptor Rise Falcon. Now, you do not need to run this card at all. This card is simply only because of the skill I run, which is Raptor's Rising, which has to have me run Raid Raptor Rise Falcon in order for me to use the skill. But yeah, technically, you actually don't need this card. Its effect is simple. You just basically you target 1. You attach 1 material and target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls, and then it'll gain its attack. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, you don't need to run this card at all. Next up is the Raid Raptor Satellite Cannon Falcon. This card is very good. I spent way too long wanting to get it. It took me like a solid month and a half to get it. But definitely worth it. So basically, it's a quick effect where you can detach one material and then target one monster your opponent controls. And it'll lose 800 attack for each Raid Raptor in the graveyard. So, depending on how you use it, this can be a complete turn ender for your opponent, where they can't even attack, because of your monster either being at 0 or being weaker than, you know, another Xyz monster you have out on the field. So yeah, very good card. It can be a turn ender before they even get in their battle phase. Okay, now we have the Raid Raptor Revolution Falcon Air Raid. Air Raid is a very good card. Here's the thing, I like running it, but I don't typically use it too much because of because I just don't use it that often. It's a good card though, don't get me wrong. You simply just, when you see summon it, you can pop one card in your opponent, pop one monster on your opponent's field. Then if it was face up, it'll inflict half of its attack points as damage to your opponent. Then if it leaves the field because it was destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Revolution Falcon from your extra deck. So yeah, pretty solid card. I just don't play it too much. If anything, I just go straight into Revolution Falcon. Okay, now we're running the 2 Raid Raptor Force Strikes. Force Strikes, great card. You simply just detach one material from it and then add one level 4 lower Raid Raptor monster from your deck to your hand. I've seen people running it at 2, 1, or 3. Honestly, I just run it at 2. It's perfect at 2. But yeah, very good. I use this as well for my skill, which is Raptor's Rising. I use it as well. Next up, we have the Raid Raptor Blaze Falcon. This is the newest addition since I just got the 9 slots for my extra deck. I like it a lot. There's sometimes that I don't like it just because of its low attack points. But yeah, very good. Basically, if it has a Xyz material, you can attack your opponent directly. Then if it attacked, you can target one monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Then you can attach during your main phase, you can attach one material from it and destroy every special summon monster your opponent controls and inflict 250 points of damage to your opponent for each. And for the last of the Xyz monster, I run the 1 Raid Raptor Stranger Falcon. Stranger Falcon, very good. If you get like Lightning Vortex or Dark Hold, while you have this and like Satellite on the field, you can basically reborn it. You can reborn the Satellite since it was destroyed. Since Stranger Falcon was destroyed by a card effect, you can just reborn the Satellite. Then, once per turn, you can attach one material and target one monster your opponent controls and inflict destroy it and inflict half its attack points as damage to your opponent. So, a really good card. I really like this card. Definitely one of my favorite rank 5s that the Raid Raptors has to offer. That was it for my Raid Raptor deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know if there's any changes that I should make. And be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on my TikTok. And tune in because I will be doing TCG decks. I will plan to be posting my Red Dragon Archfiend and Phantom Knights deck profile soon. So please stick around for that. Thanks for watching.